The Italian America show is sponsored by Full Sponsorship, Cento Fine Foods, trust your family with our family. The Bianchi Law Group, Dr. K, the management professor, the authors of the #1 international best-selling cookbook, Don't Cut the Basil, Dr. Mark D'Annunzio, National 4th Vice President, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. The Grand Lodges from the following states: New York, Ohio, Virginia, Maryland. Long Shot Productions, Get Back in the Game. ACMT, Excellence in Aerospace Manufacturing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Italian America Show. My name is Lisa Marie Falvo, coming into you from New Jersey. Joining me here is my co-host, Mr. Mark D'Annunzio, coming to us from our Washington, D.C. headquarters. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great, Lisa Marie. Great to see you.
And we are so happy to be joined by our guest of honor today, Emmy award-winning actor, Michael Badalucco. Michael, how are you?
Buongiorno. I'm very good and happy to see you.
Oh, we're so happy to see you. Thank you so much. We had so much fun even before coming on here today. So we're excited to dive right in. And you have the best background ever, I think, to start the conversation with. You have a framed picture of Sicily behind you. And we're always so curious as to our guest's Italian background. So let's start with that. We're assuming Sicily.
Yes. When Brenda, my wife, did one of those tests for me, it actually came back 100% Sicilian.
Wow.
That's what it said on the thing. So I said to Brenda, see, no excuses now. Don't ask me any more questions. That's it. So yes, my father was born in the town of Pacheco, which is in the region of Trapani, which is on the west coast there of Sicily. And my mother's parents were also born in the region of Trapani, but my mother was born in Brooklyn.
And you say you travel quite often there.
Oh, yes. I tell you a great story. So when I was in college, I saved up some money in my senior year. It was winter break, and I said to my father, I want to go back to the town where you were born. I had never gone to Italy before. And he said, fine. So we saved up money. Me and my friend saved up money, and we went to Paris, we went to Germany. And then I got on a train and I went to Sicily. When I went to Sicily, I stayed with his cousins who were in the next town, the Gilibertes. And the picture is right there, but I'll continue that later. So I stayed there. There's two older people, like my father's age, almost a little younger. And then there's a boy there that's my age. He was like 19, like me. And his name was Giuseppe Giliberti. Beautiful. So we have a great time. I love it. It's just fantastic. I can't even go on about how much I liked it so much that I never went back to Sicily. Italy, all my life went on, but I never went back to Sicily for 40 years. Never went back. So then I met a man named Nino Provenzano. You might be familiar with him. He's a very famous Sicilian poet. He's from Castellammare del Golfo, and he's a member of Arba Sicula, like me, the Sicilian American organization that promotes the culture of Sicily. And Nino and I become great friends. And he says, Michael, you have to come to Castellammare and see where I was born. I said, fine, we're going to do it. So we do it about 5 years ago. Me, Brenda, Nino, and Josephine go to Castellammare, and I see it's right near Pacheco. It's right near Marausa, is actually the town where I was 40 years ago. And I remember the address because I used to write to the people there, Via Pastore 20, 20, right? So we take a drive, and we got the GPS and all that. And there is the house. I go, oh, that's the house where they live. Now, I know the parents are dead, but I haven't spoken to this guy, Giuseppe. I haven't seen him in 40 years. I don't know anything about him. Nothing about them, but that's the house. And I see behind the house, there's another house attached. So I ring the bell. And a woman comes out, the woman in the picture, the older woman. She's a little girl. I said, buongiorno, voglio parlare con Giuseppe. Io sono Michael Badalucco. Michael Badalucco. Giuseppe, Michael Badalucco, stacca, Michael Badalucco. And this guy comes running out, big hulking man, starts crying. Michael, 40 anni io penso di te. Michael, and he grabs me and hugs me, kisses me. I've been thinking of you for 40 years. I was wondering where you were. Well, it changed my life. And Brenda's too. We were welcome. Come in, eat. Of course, you got to eat. Sit down, eat. And that's the whole family. And we've gone back every year since. Every year since. And it is just the greatest thing. And I just want to say, anybody listening or looking at this, if you have relatives in Italy, you must go. I'm not saying maybe you should go. You must go. You will get a reception and a feeling in your heart and soul that is unequaled.
I have a similar story about my cousin. We found my cousins on the 100th anniversary of my grandparents' wedding, and none of my grandparents had never been back to the town. My aunts and uncles had never been back to the town. And we found the town and found relatives, and I go every 2 years, and it's the same. It's just as you said, you can't replicate that feeling of being. I felt validated. It just felt valated and so
you felt at home. You never even see, but you feel like you're home. But I don't know. I'm from Brooklyn. What is it? And they're farmers, and they have this beautiful store and Trapani and the fresh fruits and the cook. Anyway.
No, but you bring up great. So I'm half Sicilian myself, but my family's from the East Coast, Saragusa and Pechino. And I visited there like 6-7 years ago at this point. And I was blown away at how beautiful it was and how underrated a city like Taormina. People say Paris is the most romantic city. I don't think so. Taormina is amazing.
With the blues.
Sicily doesn't get the respect that it deserves. That's for sure.
No, keep it quiet.
We'll be right back.
What's the secret to my famous margarita pizza? Fresh basil, fresh mozzarella, and cento.
People ask my wife, what's the secret to your bolognese?
A little of this, a pinch of that, and cento. Grandma passed on 2 family secrets. Sauté, don't fry,
and always cook with cento.
It's no secret that the best tasting dishes use cento, San Marzano tomatoes imported from Italy, with nothing added, just authentic flavor for authentic Italian cooking. Cento, trust your family with our family.
Ne amo della terra la montagna, no passa c'è. Severe frocce dalla Spagna, e vegate, io vegate.
So you were born and raised in Brooklyn, and tell us a little bit about that backstory and how it led you into becoming such a world-renowned actor.
From Brooklyn, it all started when we had our family gatherings for Christmas and Easter, and we'd have a whole bunch of cousins gathered with all these adults, and the adults would do their thing, and we decided that we're going to put on a little show for our uncles and aunts and everything. And I was telling Mark, we'd set up a big sheet, and we have a big light, like a movie light behind us, when they had those movie cameras. And we have a shadow of someone getting an operation and screaming, because my father was a carpenter. Or we do Stop in the Name of Love. We pantomime that song, and then we'd pass the hat around. So we do these little skits for our relatives. And they used to get a kick out of it in the basement, after Christmas meal or Easter meal, or when we had family gatherings. So that was really my first time that you got up in front of people and did something. And then little by little in grammar school, I was in a passion play and whatever. I was always sort of liked the idea of telling stories and stuff like that. And then in high school, luckily, I went to a school where they had a video department. Video was just coming out. And I used to do skits there, and I used to do plays. And that was it. And then when I decided to go to college, I said, let me go to New Paltz because they have an acting program. And luckily, I auditioned and got in. And 20 years after I graduated, I got a steady job.
Tell them about your first role in the movies and how you made your big entrance.
So yeah, my first role in a film was in a movie called Fail Safe, and it's from 1964. How could that be? I'm 10 years old, right? So I'm going to tell you how. So make a long story short, my father was a carpenter. He built sets for movies and TV commercials. So one day he came home and he said, Michael, they need a boy to be in a movie. A boy to be in a movie? I'll be in it. Wow. What kind of movie is it? He says, it's an army movie. Army movie. Wow, I'm going to be in an army movie? That's great. Hunger Den, I'll blow the horn, I'll save the day. Okay. So the day comes and they say, wear a suit. Suit? What kind of an army movie is this? Sure enough, it's a world famous movie, it's very famous, called Fail Safe. Henry Fonda is in it, Larry Hagman is in it, and it's directed by Sidney Lumet, very famous movie. I got my suit on, there's another little kid with a suit on, and there's two other people there. One guy looks like a general and a woman, and we take a still shot, still photograph, boom. That was it. Well, winds up that photo, that's me, one of those guys, that's me, winds up being in the movie. In the movie, a general is talking to a Russian general that they're going to drop a bomb on Moscow. And he's looking at his picture and he says, General, are you in Moscow? I hope. He goes, no, I'm not in Moscow, but my family is. And then he turns the page and that little photograph is there with a paper clip, meaning I was one of the little boys that got nuked. Oh. I got a Social Security card, and that's in the movie called Fail Safe. It is.
What a story. You know, there's so many instances, you know, growing up in Brooklyn and outside of New York at that time, there was a lot of productions happening. So it was very easy to get little opportunities like that.
Yes, good thing.
So how did you parlay, you know, your goodwill and your studies, and I'm sure taking little bit jobs here and there to finally get your big break?
Yeah, well, I worked, luckily, when I graduated college, I didn't have to work as a waiter. Like I said, my father built sets for movies. So I too got into the union, the IA, and I worked as a prop man on sets, on big sets. In fact, I worked on every Woody Allen movie from Manhattan to Mighty Aphrodite as a standby prop, which is the prop guy that's right on the set that hands the prop to Woody Allen or to Diane or whoever's on, you know, I'm the guy right on the set. And like Yogi Berra said, you can observe a lot by watching. So I had a great respect, not only for acting, but even more so because of my father, for the crew, for the lighting, for the grips, for the electricians, for the costumers, everything that goes into what you see on the screen. So I learned and worked on top films with top DPs. And even though I was the prop guy, I'm looking how everything works, how you should behave, what goes on, don't step on that, you know. And that experience helped me, I would say, in the long run. But while I was doing that, I did theater in the village at the West Bed Theater Center. I used to go down there, and people I went to school with ran that theater. So at night, or when I wasn't working on a you know, a movie, on a set, we would do these plays. So little by little, I got things. And this Raging Bull came up through a play I did at Westbeth. And Robert De Niro came to see this play. It was called The Tooth of Crime by Sam Shepard. And he was a friend of a girl that was in the cast, and he came to the play. Now, I went to school with John Turturro. He was younger than me at New Paltz. He was 4 years younger than me. And so when I had to go do the movie in Manhattan, I told John, will you take over the part for me in this play? It was summer. So I said, sure. I said, but if De Niro shows up, you know, I'm coming on. Make a long story short, I find out De Niro's coming. So John says, that's all right. Great. I'm so happy. I'm going to take tickets. So John's wearing a T-shirt, you know, a sleeveless T-shirt. And I'm at the door because I'm in the second act. And here comes in Robert De Niro and Sis Corman. She was the casting agent for The Godfather. And John says, okay, where's your money? No, John, these guys are comped. And we know it's De Niro, but we're trying to act like, you know, we don't know it's him. Like, we know it's De Niro, right? He's like, okay. So sure enough, De Niro comes in. He sees whatever I do. I played a referee in the Sam Shepard play. I didn't have a line, but it was two rock and roll bands, Sam Shepard play. And I was like a referee, like I blew a whistle. I was like an umpire. I did all these moves like that. 2 days later, I get a call. We would like you and your friend with the T-shirt to audition for this movie we're doing, Raging Bull. Now, this is before anybody knew. So I said, John, now we don't have SAG, we don't have nothing. So I said, John, they want us to audition for Scorsese and De Niro for this movie. And we did this scene. Me, John, Scorsese, and De Niro, a little room like this. Make a long story short, he's laughing, they're laughing. They call me and they say, you're going to be the soda fountain clerk. And I'm in the scene. I get my SAG card.
Oh.
That's how I got it. And then they do another scene at the parish hall. And they say, Mike Badalucco, bring your friend that you audition with the shirt, with the Italian shirt. He comes, we sit there. And when they shoot the scene, we rehearse it and we're sitting very far away. When they shoot the scene, they put us at the main table. At the main table with Jake and Joe Pesci. And John is in the movie too. So me and John are next to each other. And that's the first time John is in a movie. He didn't get a SAG card. And that's how it all began. That's a true story.
Wow.
That's amazing.
What a story.
Yeah.
Were you intimidated in any way? Or, you know, because it's all Italians, right? There's like that kind of feeling of family off the bat.
You know what? We didn't feel intimidated because we felt prepared. And even though it was Robert De Niro, I know I had a job to do. When I was in that scene, I'm standing next to him at the pool there. I didn't joke around with him. I didn't make jokes to him. I didn't try to like, hey, how you doing, Bob? What is going on? You know, no. I was a serious actor.
We'll be right back.
It's an immense honor to be here.
I just think that this gala is such a great opportunity for kids all around the country.
And this means so much to me on an even deeper level.
You're helping a lot of young kids.
Hoorah! Thank you for this Lifetime Achievement Award.
I thank you very much, and I'm very honored.
May God bless you all.
Thank you for thinking I'm worthy of this.
We can sing in the glow of a song that I know of, where love is enjoy, peace of mind.
What's the secret to my famous margarita pizza? Fresh basil, fresh mozzarella, and cento.
People ask my wife, what's the secret to your bolognese?
A little of this, a pinch of that, and cento. Grandma passed on 2 family secrets. Sauté, don't fry,
and always cook with cento.
It's no secret that the best tasting dishes use Cento, San Marzano tomatoes imported from Italy, with nothing added, just authentic flavor for authentic Italian cooking. Cento, trust your family with our family.
Watch the Italian America Show every Sunday night at 8 p.m. on News 12 Plus and celebrate the best of Italian American culture. Each week, we will feature an exclusive interview with a prominent Italian American from around the country. You can watch the Italian America show on Optimum 61, Verizon 530, or stream live from anywhere on News12.plus. For more on Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, visit osdia.org and follow along on social media. When you won your Emmy Award and you were up there on national television in front of your peers, I mean, that had to have been a culmination of all of that, right? I mean, what did you feel at that moment?
Yeah, great honor, great honor. Yeah, it was, just to be on that show was a great, to have great writing like that. And then to be one of the 5 people, and then when they say your name, and then it was a pure excitement. It was a big laugh. Wow, these people, I didn't have a big agent. I didn't go talking to people or nothing. That they thought that I was good enough to receive something that recognizes like I say, 20 years after I graduated college, recognizes what I've done, what I was for 20 years, recognizes my work. I felt very, very honored that people would say, "Oh, you did a good job, Mike. You did a good job." That's what it meant to me. You did good.
Yeah, you definitely did do good.
Fantastic material. It was the material that did it. I mean, when you have material like that, if you address it in the right way and just put yourself in it and just be honest, it comes out. You're lucky because you got great material.
What are you up to today?
I'm in this show that's very popular. It's called Never Have I Ever. It's on Netflix. It's sort of like a teenage show. With Mindy Kaling wrote it, and I play the father of one of the students, Ben, who's a rich lawyer. So other than that, I swim. I was telling Mark, I live in a temperate climate here in California, Manhattan Beach, so I can swim every day outdoors, take a shower outdoors. I never put on the heat, and I never put on the air conditioner.
You have extensive acting credits and accolades, but you also have a long list of charities that you're involved with. Please tell us about your philanthropic endeavors and all that you support.
Just the way I was brought up, my mother was a very charitable person, and whether it's HeartShare Human Services or the Little Sisters of the Poor, or a lot of them are Catholic, priests of the Sacred Heart, and you do what you can and you contribute what you can, either money or time or whatever. One time I did something for Chris Reeve, but it was the high-end people, right? He was a nice guy. Christopher Reeve, he wanted to be on the show, and he was. We got him on the practice. So I used to audition myself to have dinners, like you could have dinner with me at Tiro Arsenio in New York, which is a club, a private Italian club. And guys paid $30,000, not to me, to Chris Reeve's charity. I said, wow, I paid for the dinner, but to have dinner with me. So if you could do something like that, I said, raise money for me.
You were inducted into the Hall of Fame of the Diocese of Brooklyn. Tell us about that.
Wow. I told you I write to my my high school English teacher, but I still write to my 8th grade nun. Her name was Sister Mary Harold from St. Brendan, and now she calls her name is Margaret Mahone, because she left the Sisters of St. Joseph to take care of her parents. I still write to her. So when they said they were going to do this for me, I said, well, if I'm going, I have to bring a 3rd guest besides Brenda, my wife. I have to bring the nun. And when I go there to get this in the bishop's house, I forget the bishop's name, in the bishop's house, I go first. They call Badalucco first. So when I start giving a few remarks, I talk about the nuns, how important the nuns were, not the priests. The priests are all right, but the nuns are the ones that taught us. The nuns are the ones that showed me how to write cursive. I have perfect handwriting. The nuns are the ones that brought us up. I mean, in my generation, of course. You did, Mark, for sure, if you went to Catholic school. But yes, that was the Hall of Fame. Me and Chris Mullen were inducted in the same year.
Okay.
And Chris,
good company.
Chris went to Severian, you know, but same high school as me.
We have to ask the standard question. Now that the standard question we ask all our Italian-American guests is that red stuff they put on top of pasta. What is it? Tell me, what do they call it? Please.
One thing to call it. It's sauce. Come on.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob Bianchi. Are you listening?
That's people in New Orleans. They've got gravy. What gravy? I'm just talking to my friend in New Orleans, Judge Tony Russo. I'm a member of the, we talk about that. It's called the Italian-American St. Joseph Society. And every year for 50 years or 52 years now, they have a parade honoring St. Joseph in the French Quarter on March 19th, on or around March 19th. And New Orleans, just for your viewers to know, has the biggest concentration of Sicilians. They did at the turn of the century. And they put up these St. Joseph altars in the churches and in the homes and in the restaurant. That is, even in Sicily, these altars are not like that. So if you're ever around New Orleans around March 19th, the parade might be there, or the parade sometimes is after. But look for these altars of St. Joseph if you have a dedication to St. Joseph.
That sounds like so much fun, Mark. I think that's the next order class trip is to New Orleans in March.
In Pensacola, I'm actually only 3 hours from the French Quarter.
There you go.
It would be an easy trip for me.
Michael, how did we get connected? How did we get you on this show?
Oh, because my brother is a member of the Putnam County Italian-American Club.
Right.
Somebody's in the Sons of Italy that's a member of that club too. So he asked me, would you come? They had their first sort of Italian feast to commemorate Italian Cultural Month, October. It was October 1st. So they were talking to him, and the guys, well, we got to bring a celebrity down here. Bring a celebrity down here. Oh, I don't know any celebrities. And the guy said to him, your brother's a celebrity. so he asked me to come down. And I said, you know what I'm going to do, Joe? I'll bring my Emmy Award. People get a kick out of that. So I brought the Emmy Award so people could hold it, take a picture. What am I? You can get my picture. They take a picture with the Emmy. And I went there, and through that connection.
That's so awesome.
That's the connection. Yeah.
That's great. Well, Michael, I'm not just saying this, and Mark, I think you would agree with me. This has been one of the best interviews we have done on this series. So much fun, so much energy. Your stories were legendary. Thank you so much for taking the time today with us.
Thank you very much for having me as well.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
For more related topics in this series, please visit our YouTube channel, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America.
For more information on Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America and how to join, please visit OSDIA.org. Please also follow us on social media. The Italian America Show is sponsored by Full Sponsorship, Cento Fine Foods, Trust Your Family with Our Family, the Bianchi Law Group, Dr. K, the Management Professor, the authors of the #1 international best-selling cookbook, Don't Cut the Basil, Dr. Mark D'Annunzio, National 4th Vice President, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. The Grand Lodges from the following states: New York, Ohio, Virginia, Maryland. Long Shot Productions, Get Back in the Game. ACMT, Excellence in Aerospace Manufacturing,